Okay, so Gaara is set to be the next Kage League unit. And it's very interesting because Gaara came out of nowhere. No one was expecting Gaara. But I'm very happy about it because Kage League units, let me pull up the graph right here. Kage League units tend to be much better, and I mean much better, when they're not villains. Look at this. Look at this. Naruto and Minato, very good, best Kage League units, and then Kakashi's in the middle. But look at these villains. Like Sasuke at this era was a villain, right? He was an evil guy, so I consider him a villain. Itachi, technically he was a hero, right? But again, he was kind of a villain as well for the context of when this Itachi is from. Madara's a villain, Pain's a villain. So you can see that the Uchiha boys are here at the bottom. Pain being, of course, the biggest Uchiha. And Kakashi being a semi-Uchiha. So the Uchiha boys are at the bottom right here, but Gaara has nothing to do with that. Gaara is just a good guy. I mean, when he was a kid, you know, he was kind of evil. He had a very, very scary face, but when he became an adult, he became a president, you know? He became the president. So, yeah, now let's discuss what Gaara is gonna do. Now, one thing that I did with the other Kage League units was I pull up what the other versions of, you know, that character does, but I felt like that doesn't work. You know, like if you take a look at Naruto, he doesn't do anything that other Narutos do. Sasuke doesn't do anything that other Sasukes do. Kakashi, and it goes on. All the units are the same. But here's one trend that I realized. So, every Kage League unit fits a role, right? Every Kage League unit has their own thing. Now, if we take a look at Naruto, his thing is that they make him switch. He also makes them go back in the speed gauge, but his gimmick is that he makes them switch, right? Sasuke reduces their chakra. That's his gimmick. Kakashi has a high risk, high reward jutsu that if you land it with the jutsu ceiling and switch ceiling, you again high risk, high reward. That's his gimmick. Minato, very fast, that's his gimmick. Itachi, he cannot be jutsu back when he jutsus, his gimmick. Pain's at 3 and 6, that's his gimmick. And he has a lot of HP. He's very tanky. Again, his gimmick. Madara does slip damage, the worst one. I mean, comparatively, these two are the worst ones. So every single one of them is different. Gaara has to be different as well. It's only logical. I'm assuming he's gonna be a heart unit because we have not. Now we did have Pain. What am I talking about? So he cannot be wisdom or heart. I mean, they could repeat it. They could make him bravery or body. I feel like these are the two ones. Bravery or body. If they make him bravery, of course it's gonna be on the lower end against Madara. But even still, I feel like he's gonna be a good unit to kill Madara. Yeah, he could be bravery or body. I mean, I would prefer a body unit because, you know, there's so many good heart units out there, you know. A body unit would be nice, but at the same time, yeah. We need to figure out what's gonna be his gimmick, and I've been thinking about it. I feel like barrier. And that goes back to the Gaara thing. Now again, as I said, looking at Gaara's is not the most big thing, but Gaara has been consistent with barriers. This unit gives a barrier. This unit is tanky, right? So that's a thing. This unit's tanky. This unit, okay, it's not tanky, but this unit is tanky, damage reduction. This unit's tanky, damage reduction. This unit's tanky, he gives a barrier. So he's gonna, I feel like that's gonna be his gimmick. Now he also can be an immobilization unit because no other Kage League unit does immobilization. If you think about it, none of them do. So he could be an immobilization unit. I feel like he could do both. Like he could be a barrier unit and an immobilization unit. I feel like barrier would fit the character a lot. And again, none of these other units have that. And barrier is something very underused on PvP. Like you don't see any good units that have barrier. Like 0 good units have barrier. So, you know, it's a thing that could happen. Just a barrier unit that maybe immobilizes. Again, if he is gonna immobilize, they're gonna have to crank up the 90% because when they try to make units have 70% just mobilization, it just doesn't work. Like you see that Blazing Bash Sakura didn't work. So they're gonna have to make him a big mobilization unit. Because other than what these people are already providing, I don't see anything else that's left that's good, at least, right? It could be Chakra Ceiling, but I mean... Chakra Ceiling is good, don't get me wrong, but with the new Naruto and Sasuke, the 3 and 6 units, even if you Chakra Seal them in the beginning of the match, they still can get a Jutsu off, it's a thing, right? Because they are 3 and 6, and you start with 3 Chakra. So I feel like it's not a good counter to the meta. But Barrier is interesting, especially if he gives himself a barrier and a resistance to stuff. Just like the Blazing Festival does, he gives himself a barrier, and he gives himself a resistance to being Switch Sealed and Chakra Sealed. Oh boy, if only he was a good PvP, you know, I mean, he doesn't give these things on for himself on PvP, but man, he would be quite interesting. But he gives himself the resistance, right? That's also a thing, he could give himself perfect dodge. None of these units give themselves perfect dodge. Like Itachi is the closest to perfect dodge, but he is the you cannot receive ninjutsus, which is a big difference because perfect dodge, it neutralizes everything. You cannot be immobilized, you cannot be jutsu sealed, you cannot be anything. But if you have this, you're just not going to take the damage, right? But you still can be immobilized, you can be chakra sealed, jutsu sealed. I don't know about losing chakra. I've never experienced a situation where someone's going to take out my chakra and have perfect dodge. That is actually a good thing to try out. I should test out bringing CM to Sasuke Ninja Road and having that map with the map 7 with Kakashi that takes off 3 chakra from you. I should check that out later, but I don't know if he would lose chakra, but a perfect dodge mechanic would be nice. Either barrier or perfect dodge. I feel like it would fit the Gaara character, and it would be a mechanic that none of these other Kagura units have. I don't feel like they'll give him dodge. Dodge is just something... yeah, they didn't give Itachi dodge, which would be the thing, right? He could be somewhat tanky, not in the level of Bang. I feel like they could give him like 50,000 health, and oh, he could be a fast unit as well. There's so many possibilities because if you take a look at other Gaaras, right? And again, I know I just said that looking at the fast units is not necessarily what's gonna happen in the future, but these 2 Gaaras right here, they set stone of being fast, you know? This Gaara, if you played PvP back in the day, this was your guy for speed. This was your man. Gaara was the fastest boy. How much speed does he have? 383. He was the fast boy, okay? And then Blazing Bash Gaara, same thing. When he came out, he was the fast boy. He was the fastest unit in the game. So, I mean, Sexujutsu Naruto is not faster than him, is he? I don't recall, but anyways, no one used Sexujutsu Naruto anymore because it wasn't viable. He was their speed lead for anyone that had him, right? Him and Hinata. So Gaara has been a fast unit, and honestly, other than Minato, I guess Itachi is quite decently fast if you have the ability, right? 381 speed, but that's not like cranking the 400s, right? This Gaara could crank the 400s, this Kagura Gaara, he could crank the 400s and be a barrier unit, because if you look at it, Minato's the fastest unit in the game, and then you think, oh, the fastest unit in the game cannot be someone that has like a busted effect on their jutsus, right, like perfect dodge. I mean, they can. Minato makes it go back in speed gauge, that's pretty busted, to me. You know, they can like have good effects on jutsu and be fast, because again, if you take a look at the OGs, right, Gaara, I mean, Gaara had a pretty strong jutsu, right? He hits decently hard and he switch seals, but he was 5 and 10 to compensate that. There's no Kagura unit that is 5 and 10, right? Yeah, 4 and A, 4 and A, 3 and 6, 4 and A, 3 and 6, and 4 and A. I don't see them making him 5 and 10. It just 5 and 10 units are a very big liability because you just can't jutsu with them right away. I feel like the meta has been going linear towards 3 and 6 with the Naruto and Sasuke. So yeah, I'm hopeful for this Gaara. Again, as my graph suggests, Gaara is probably going to be a good unit. He doesn't have eye hacks, which is the thing. Like all these eye hacks people, they're all the worst ones. I mean, Naruto does have a weird eye, right? Someone commented that he does have like a weird eye, but it's not eye hex, right? It's just a weird eye. It's not like the Sharingan that predicts people's movements, you know, and gets him in their freaking minds, okay? He just has a frog eye. I mean, very hopeful of Gaara. I mean, Gaara has been in a good track record. Every Gaara is good. Like, if you take a look, Gaara good, Gaara good, Gaara good. Okay, he's okay. Gaara, he was good when he released, okay? Gaara good when he released. So, again, I'm pretty hopeful of this one. Please don't disappoint me like Madara.